Namaste to all of you. I am sure you had a wonderful week working from home, good food, lot of rest, and I also hope that you meditated upon what we were discussing last week. Because it requires a lot of meditation and reflection to understand what the Bhagavad Gita is teaching us. It's not just an intellectual accumulation. The Bhagavad Gita gives you a program of radical reformation, radical transformation. At the end of the Bhagavad Gita, if you have not experienced the radical transformation, then study is a waste. So that should be the seriousness with which we should approach Bhagavad Gita. It's not just information, it is transformation. So we were discussing the Bhagavad Gita gives us a third way, which is called the Madhyama Marga, the third way. And there are two pillars of this third way. One is Buddhi Yoga or self-knowledge or meditation. And the other is Karma Yoga, action. You should be actively involved in the world. Then alone you will realize your full potential. So these are the two pillars. And the path that Bhagavan advocates is called meditative action or reflective action. Not that you are combining action and reflection. It's not karma jnana samuchaya. Karma jnana samuchaya means first I meditate, then I act. As though they are two different disciplines. First I meditate, then I act. Or first I act, then I meditate. This is called karma jnana samuchaya. Or for another 50 years I work in the world, I am active in the world, then I retire and start meditating. Or I meditate in the morning, then I give up meditation, then I act in this world. As stupid as I was before. This kind of clubbing, as though these are two different disciplines or pursuit, is not the way of Bhagavad Gita. Then what is the way of Bhagavad Gita? Meditative action or active meditation. So your meditation should qualify your action, and action should qualify your meditation. That is why I said it is meditation in action or action in meditation. They are not different things. They are one and the same thing. This is the message of Bhagavad Gita. This is the third path third way we were discussing. Otherwise you always think, I will meditate in the morning, then I will jump into the field of activity. Or I will meditate after 75 years or 50 years. So Bhagavad Gita that's not the path of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita says you have to be meditatively active and actively meditate. This is the third path. And the third path was put in flesh and blood in the description of a wise individual. Sthita prajna is the word used. Sthita prajna yasya, whose wisdom is steady, whose self-knowledge is steady. That self-knowledge doesn't get disturbed by the influences from outside. In fact, you influence the outside event rather than outside events influencing you. So that is called steady wisdom. Putting it another way, your happiness is not dependent upon what is happening outside. What is happening outside has no relevance to your being a happy person. Let me put it that way. Or I put it another way, that you are happily involved in the world, not for happiness. I am repeating. Sorry for repetition, because it has to go deep into our marrows and muscles and bones. So that is the third way we are discussing. And the Bhagavan said, Prajahadi yada kaman. When you no more desire happiness, then you discover you are happiness. You are health. You are love. You don't have to get it from outside. So this method Bhagavan called Jnana Karma Sannyasa. So sannyasa is not giving up something. Sannyasa is giving and sharing. There's a lot of difference. Sannyasa is not giving up. In fact, sannyasa is inclusion. I include the whole world in my consciousness. That there is no other for me. We all are one. So sannyasa, jnana, karma, sannyasa means I am not giving up, but I am giving. I am sharing. I am embracing. I include. It's an inclusive state of consciousness. So there's a difference between jnana, karma, samuchaya. You are trying to artificially connect or conjoin jnana and karma, meditation and activity. In fact, what Bhagavan expects us to do is, by being active in the world with an awareful mind, I am very awareful about my nature as infinite bliss and consciousness. And with that awareness, when I interact with the world becomes an opportunity for me, not a calamity for me. This is the third way that we are talking about. And for that, Arjuna asked Lord Krishna, can you give me an example? How it is possible? Meditatively active and actively meditation, how is it possible? So this is what he said. Don't desire happiness. When you don't desire happiness, you discover your nature is happiness. And this is meditation. So let me define what meditation is, what activity is. Meditation is living in that constant awareness of your blissful nature. You never forget it. You're always awareful of that. If you forget it, then you start seeking happiness and you feel miserable. So always live in that awareness. My nature is happiness. Or that Sakshi Bhavam. That witnessing everything and abiding in your nature. So I would say a person who is happy without depending upon the outside world is in meditation. Please. When your happiness does not depend upon the outside world, then you are in meditation. And our whole pursuit is to be a happy person. There is no other motive for activity. There is no other inspiration for living. That I want to be a happy, whole, complete, healthy person. So that's the meaning of meditation. Living in that awareness of your blissful nature. Then what is the meaning of activity? What do you mean by action? Why are you active in this world? Why are you interacting with the world? What is activity? Activity is stimulus and response. The world is impinging upon you, then you are responding to the world. And what is the motive, purpose of this activity? The purpose is to preserve your embodiment, preserve your body, preserve your genes, preserve your community. These are the three purposes of activity. I want to preserve my genes. I want to preserve my embodiment, my body, because that is the only tool I have to interact with the world. And I also want to preserve my community. So, as a meditative person, as I told you, we have to live in that constant awareness that I am, my nature is happiness. And as a body, mind, ego complex, which are my tools to interact with the world, the body, mind complex is not a present house for you, it's a tool with which I interact with the world. And I interact with the world, I become a karta, bhokta, doer, enjoyer, or producer, consumer. But unfortunately, we are locked up ourselves into the idea that I am the producer, consumer. You are not really the producer, consumer. That is the only role that you are playing. You are really that infinite consciousness. So as a producer, consumer, body, mind, ego complex, you are part of the universe. You are part of the ecosystem. So two understanding in that meditation. One understanding is my essential nature is infinite bliss. But as a producer, consumer, doer, enjoyer, ego, body, mind, ego complex, that small I, doesn't be the big I. As a small I, body, mind, ego complex, I am part of the universe, the entire universe. The heartbeat of the universe is my own heartbeat. So there you become a devotee because you discover yourself as part of the world. So it is my job to preserve this ecosystem, to preserve the environment. If I don't preserve the environment, I cannot operate this body, mind, ego complex. So there are two understandings in that meditation, that I am always conscious as ego, body, mind complex. I am part of the world. But my real nature is that absolute, infinite, blissful consciousness. That is the meaning of meditation. And meaning of action is, I involve in the world, receiving stimulus, responding to stimulus. In the process, I am interested in preserving my genes, my body, and my community. But without the community, I cannot be active. Alone, I cannot do anything. I need a team, I need a community. So if this is understood, the meaning of action, the meaning of meditation, and what we are interested in meditative action or reflective activity. How is that possible is the question. So Arjuna asked that question to Bhagavan. Before I get into today's theme, so today's theme is, it is not meditation activities separate pursuits. They are one and the same pursuit. That's today's theme. That's what I said. It is not knowledge and action. It is knowledge in action or action in knowledge, meaning they qualify each other. So before I get into that, let us discuss some unique features of Bhagavad Gita. Unique features. The first unique feature is, Bhagavad Gita says action and meditation are not different pursuits. It has to be practiced simultaneously. That is the first teaching of Bhagavad Gita. That distinguishes Bhagavad Gita from all other spiritual texts. All other spiritual texts, be it the Bible or Quran or Dharmapada, all other spiritual texts says these are different things. First you meditate, then you act. But Bhagavad Gita says you have to integrate both of them. That is the first difference. The second difference is that the Bhagavad Gita promises all the religions of the world, be it a Semitic religion or Vedic religion, all the religions in the world says that the world is a vast prison. The world is a vast prison. And the body is a cell in the prison. Prison has several cells, isn't it? The body is a cell in the prison. So you are entrapped in the body and you are entrapped in the world. You are imprisoned. The body is considered as a prison. The world is considered as a vast, body is considered as a cell in the prison. The world is considered a vast prison. And you are in that body, you are in that world. Therefore, liberation or freedom means to get rid of the body, to get out of the world. So most all the religions promise freedom after death, isn't it? When do you get freedom? After death. You have to get out of this world and the body. So all the religions in the world promise freedom after death. Whereas Bhagavad Gita says freedom is right now here, in this body, in this world. Now, addeva, atraiva, iheva. Addeva means today. Today is your freedom. Iheva means here is your freedom. Atraiva means now, at this moment is your freedom. No other religion promises that. Only Bhagavad Gita promises. That's the unique nature of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita says the body is not a cell in the prison, world is not a vast prison. These are opportunities for you to explore and express your infinite potential in terms of love, health, and sharing your happiness. The world is a necessary condition for you to explore yourself and express your potential. And what is your potential? The potential for happiness, the potential of love, the potential of creativity, the potential of health, the potential of being whole. All these are possible when you interact with the world. So this is the things which distinguish Bhagavad Gita from other religions. And when this was said, Arjuna said out, how is this possible? How can I make action a meditation and meditation into an action? How is that possible? I always thought these are different pursuits. That's why Arjuna wanted to run away from the world. I'm in the battlefield. Arjuna said, this is too much for me. I am moving into the forest. Whereas Bhagavan insists you have to be in the battlefield. Because at the end of the Bhagavad Gita teaching, in the beginning we found Arjuna was inactive, threw his weapons and sat on the floor of the chariot saying that I am not going to do anything. But at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna picks up the weapon, bow and arrow, and said, I am ready to act. That's what he said. And not only that, the final fruit that Bhagavad Gita offers is Tatra Shri Vijayaha Bhudihi Dhruva Nidhihi Madihi Mama. The final fruit is progress, happiness, and justice, equality. This is what Bhagavan promises. And these are all that happens in your interaction with the world. So, but Arjuna didn't quite grasp this. You always think in a binary. Logic is always binary. It excludes. It doesn't include. So Arjuna required a deeper understanding of all those things. So how are you? So he asked this question. How can you combine, or how can you be meditatively active and actively meditative? And the question is in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Jayasi chet karmanaste mada buddhir janardana. Sorry for giving you some Sanskrit slokas, because that helps me organize my thought. Jayasi chet karmanaste mada buddhir janardana tatkim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi keshava. This was his question. What was the question? Arjuna says, on one side you praise meditation, buddhi means meditation. On one side you praise meditation, on another side you are praise action also. Because Bhagavan again and again said, Tasmad uttishta kaunteya yuddhaya krita nishchaya. So it seems the whole of Bhagavad Gita is woven around or pivoted in action. Action is a pivot. And the whole Bhagavad Gita is woven around it. The whole vision of Bhagavad Gita. So spiritual person, according to Bhagavad Gita, has to be very active or interactive, living in the community, not in the seclusion of the Himalayas. Because then alone you can explore your full potential. So, on the one side, Bhagavan says you have to meditate. On the other side, you have to be active, pick up the weapon and fight. That does not mean we all have to pick up the weapon and fight. We all have to do our own respective duty. That's all what Bhagavan means. So Arjuna quite didn't understand this formulation. So he asked this question, Jayasi chat karmanaste mada buddhir janardana. Oh Bhagavan, you are saying one side you meditate because meditation makes you discover your natural happiness. And on another side you say you have to be active and fight this battle. And I don't quite understand. How is that possible? This was Arjuna's question, to which Bhagavan says, nobody can be inactive in this world, he says. Nahi kashishanamabi jadu tishtatya karma krita. Karyade avashak karma sarvehi prakritijehi gunehi. We all have to be active. The activity is the central fact of being in this world, in this body. Nobody can be away from activity. So, nahi kachishanam abhijatu tishtatya karma. So, if you really inquire, a samsari, a worldly person, a viveki, a discriminating person, a reflective person, and a jnani, an accomplished person, all of them are active. A samsari is always active. Samsari means a worldly person. His family, his children, his job, his promotion, his ambitions and all that make him active. Whereas a viveki is called a karma yogi. Karma yogi also is active. You cannot say I am doing karma yoga but I have given up karma. That's not possible. You cannot say that. I am doing karma yoga, Swami, these days. I have given up all my activity. Karma yoga means changing your attitude behind the activity. That's the meaning of karma yoga. And for a jnani also there is karma. Bhagavan himself says, Krishna himself says, Name parthasi kartavyam trishilokesh kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam vartayavacha karmani. Though I have nothing to gain from the world, I am always active, he says. I am always active. Atandritaha. Without any let or hindrance, I am always active. So for a samsari, worldly person, there is activity. For a viveki, karma yogi, there is activity. For a jnani, he also has activity. But what kind of activity is jnani? Is self-giving activity, altruistic activity, doing good for the community kind of activity. In Bhagavad Gita's vision, you never give up work. What are you giving up is you changing your attitude, changing your vision behind work. So when Arjuna asked this question, how can I do karma, activity and meditation together? Bhagavan answers that question. He says, there are two logesmin dividha anishta pura prokta mayanaka. There are two kind of lifestyles. Logically, what are the two kinds of lifestyle? One is a meditative lifestyle, another is active lifestyle. One who is actively involved in the world and one who is contemplating. And I am giving a third way where you can combine these two. And Bhagavan uses certain keywords to explain this. Our objective in life, our goal in life is to be happy. That we have already said that. And Bhagavan uses certain words for that. Naishkarmyam. Naishkarmyam means actionlessness. When you are active, you feel actionless. It's called Naishkarmya. I'll put it another way. If you enjoy your activity, then you are not feeling the burden of action. When you enjoy your activity. If you don't enjoy, thinking that after I do this work, I get some result, then I will be happy, then you are not enjoying your activity. If you can happily do things, you don't feel the burden of work. Is it not? Have you experienced that? When you enjoy what you are doing, you don't feel the burden. You can go on and on and on. The more you work, the more you feel inspired. Because you are not doing work for happiness. So Bhagavan says, you cannot give up activity, you cannot give up work, but you can change the attitude behind work. I do it to explore my own potential, to express my potential, to express my happiness that I enjoy. So that state of your being or your consciousness is called naishkarmyam, actionlessness. For example, when you are in love with someone, anything that someone asks you, you will do, isn't it? Happily. Go and get me this, you will run and get it. Even if she gives you a slap, you say, at least she gave me a slap. You enjoy it. When that love arises in you, no work is a labor or a burden for you. So Bhagavan says, you cannot give up work. You have to continue to do that. Nahi kachikshanam abhijadu tishtatya karmakruta. And that enjoying work is called actionlessness. You don't feel. You are exerting. And the more you act, the more you are inspired. So one word used by Bhagavan is naishkarmyam. Another word used by siddhi, accomplishment. What is the greatest accomplishment? In the Yoga Shastra says greatest accomplishment, you will be able to walk over water, you will be able to read somebody's mind, or you will be able to fly, or you will be able to control the whole universe. The greatest siddhi is none of this. The greatest siddhi is you are discovered your natural happiness. That is the greatest siddhi. So, siddhi is a word used. Naishkarmyam is another word used. Actionlessness. And then akarma is another word. So these are and shreyas is another word used by the Lord. So all these words indicate the same thing. So you cannot give up activity. So while you are active in the world, can you be happy is the question. So how do I understand this? How do you understand? So you need a philosophical attitude to understand this. Let us reflect. Where does action take place? Let us reflect on that. So it is said, Manasa sankalpya buddhya nischitya sharirena karma karodi. Sorry for the Sanskrit. Whenever you act, the action takes place either in the body level, or the mind level, or the intellectual level. And the ego in you owns that activity. So mentally you imagine, intellectually you determine, and physically you act. That's what you are doing. And you are the witness of all this. You are witnessing all this. Please think of that. Suppose I am lifting this book. With my hand, I am lifting this book using my body. And before that, I decided to lift this book. Before that, I have a desire to lift this book. The desire always need not lead to action. Sometimes you desire to buy a car, but then you think, do I have the money and how much I can borrow and what is my credit worthiness and all that. Finally you decide, I don't want to buy the car. So desire need not always lead to determination. So first you imagine, then you think, then you discuss, then you decide, then you act. But all these are aware by you. All these happen in your awareness, please. The body is acting in your awareness, mind is imagining in your awareness, buddhi is thinking in your awareness, and the ego is owning up all this. And you say, I bought a car, I decided to buy a car, and this is my car. All these are happening in your awareness. Therefore, Bhagavan says, watch. Watch these activities. It is happening in your awareness. It is like a wave that appears in the ocean. All these activities are a wave that appear in the ocean of consciousness. So that awareness with which you are able to see the entire cycle, the entire movement of thought and action and imagination and owning up those actions. That entire infrastructure or entire interactive enterprise is happening in your awareness. And hence, Bhagavan says, Pragrudehe kriyamanani karmani gunehi kriyamanani karmani. All the activities are done by the Prakriti. And you are able to observe all those activities. It is happening on the screen of consciousness. So we must be able to observe this. The intense observation, without judgment, without interference, letting the body, mind, ego complex function and interact with the world. Like when you watch a movie. When you watch a movie, you enjoy it. Even if it is a tragic movie, you enjoy it, isn't it? The hero is killed and caught and tortured and killed, and you are watching all that, and still you are enjoying it. It's a tragic thing. Because you are not involved in it. This is the meaning of enjoyment, watching without involvement. So similarly, we are able to watch the entire activity that happens on the body, mind, ego complex level by acute awareness. So the awareness liberates you from this. And at the same time, you can enjoy it or endure it, whatever you want to say. So pragrudehe gunehi kriyamanani sarvani karmani. All activities are happening in the field of Prakriti or in the observed field. You can observe if you have the leisure and the intelligence. You can observe all these are happening at this level, and with that observation, it is no more a problem for you. It is an opportunity to enjoy life. Like even watch a movie. And again, Bhagavad Gita continues, Pashyan, Sprinnan, Sprishan, Jikran, Ashran, Swapan, Unmishan, Nimishan, Nabi, Aham na karma karomi di manyeta tattvavidu. You are seeing, you are touching, you are smelling, you are thinking, you are interacting, and you are doing all this. While you are doing all this, you are detached. It is not that you give up doing. All these activities are taking place, but you are. So, Pashyan Shrunvan, you are seeing, touching, smelling, thinking, interacting, even fighting also. You are fighting on the body level, isn't it? Or the intellectual level, or the emotional level. I don't like that person. And you are watching, as though you are watching a movie. So, if you can do this, you are in reflective activity or meditative activity. So meditation means abiding in your real nature and then observing what is happening on the body, mind, ego complex level as it interacts with the world, and and harvesting experiences and judging all those experiences. You are simply an observer. You are the great grand ground of being. And everything is happening like waves arising in the ocean. This is how Bhagavan says that you can be meditatively active and actively meditative. And there's a beautiful sloka in the Bhagavad Gita. There it says, Karmani akarmayat pashet agarmani karmaya. Those who can see action in inaction and inaction in action. Karmani akarmayat pashet. Meaning, those when you are very active, you are deeply quiet. You are deeply quiet. And then alone you can be really active. If you are disturbed, you are only reacting. Please understand that. If you are a disturbed person inside, then you are only reacting. Then you come to the surface level. Then you are a shallow person. But to be really active, one has to be deeply quiet. And when are you quiet? When you are happy. Then you are quiet. Because then you are not expecting anything. When you don't expect anything, then you are quiet. And from that quiet center, when you act, you become supremely creative. Your activity becomes a play. And for that, one has to discover that center, that quiet center. So Bhagavan says, Karmani agarmaya pashet. Who can remain akarma, supremely quiet, while you are engaged in the activities. So I am using two things. You are supremely quiet while you are engaged in activity. Please see the irony of that statement, or the paradox of that statement. You are supremely quiet while you are supremely active. Meaning what? Meaning what? I am supremely quiet while I am supremely active, because you are observing that activities are taking place at the body, mind, ego level, which is drishyam, which I am observing. Like I am observing a movie. Please reflect on that. So you are very quiet. At the same time, you are very active, because Bhagavan said the Prakriti is always active, it's always changing, it's always interacting. The Prakriti's nature is like that. What you observe is Prakriti. And you can observe the world, you can observe your body, you can observe your thought, you can observe your ego, who owns up everything. Isn't it? Don't you say that? This is my thought. This is my emotion. This is my body. This is my possessions. That is what the ego says, the small I in you. I don't want to you give up that small I. That small I is very important. Your ego is very important. Don't give up the ego. Some people say, I have given up my ego. That is the greatest egoistic statement. I have given up my ego. You cannot give up your ego. Ego is your tool to function in the world. The only thing is that you must recognize others also have ego. If you can recognize that others have ego, just as you have ego, then you are an egoless person. If you recognize that others have ego with whom you are interacting, then you are an egoless person. It is not giving up your ego, it's not possible. Giving up ego is an ego project. So I don't want you to give up ego. I want to be the egoistic person. But recognize my ego also. My ego is I am a guru ego. Your ego is I am a shishya ego, isn't it? Keep that ego. Then we can interact in this world. I am playing one role, you are playing another role. Those roles are the ego we are talking about. But at this point, I don't recognize your ego, I only recognize my ego. There is the problem. So, watch. Watch these activities are taking place. So you are supremely quiet when you watch. You are not judging. You are not criticizing. You are not having preferences. The thoughts are flowing. Activities are happening. Ego is making claims. And you are watching. This is called karmani akarma darshanam. You are able to remain totally quiet, supremely quiet, while you are vigorously active in the world. Now you can say, I am an old man, I am already 95. What activity I can make? My God, when you are 95, for you there is more to do. Dealing with your body itself is a big challenge, isn't it? Forget about the world. At 95, the world doesn't bother you. Nor you bother about the world, because your sense organs are all dilapidated. So therefore, even if you are old, 95 years old, you have a lot of challenges. The physical and emotional, nobody to love you, nobody to care for you. Everybody is busy with their own activities. So there, how do you deal with that situation? Which is very, very important. So don't tell me that I am 95 years old, what will I do? You have plenty to do, I tell you. Because dealing with this body itself is a challenge. How will you deal with the body? The body is your universe. You are not able to walk, you are not able to see, nobody is with you, you are all abandoned and alone. There also activity is there. So can I remain supremely quiet while I am interacting with the world is the challenge. And for that, one has to observe. The observation has to be very acute and deep. Then alone that observation is accomplished. And which you have to do while you are interacting with the world. It is not that you go to a quiet place in seclusion and you are trying to observe. Then you will be observing your own memories. Your full possibilities are blocked there. So you have to be very active in the world to practice observation. In a quiet place, you only sleep. Or you are only wallowing in your own memories. Because there is no challenge for you. So you have to be active in the world so that there are challenges, so that you are awake, so that your full being is recognized and experienced. So karmani akarma darshanam. And akarmani karmaya. Meaning activities are happening in that oceanic consciousness, like waves and bubbles. And I am able to remain as a quiet observer without judging, without having preferences, letting the nature organize by itself. And I am enjoying the whole drama or whole movie. This is called meditation. Active meditation or meditative activity. You are not doing it first meditation, then activity. Or you are postponing meditation after retirement. Now itself you are doing that. This is the greatest contribution of Bhagavad Gita. I don't find this vision anywhere else. In all other religious texts I find liberation is after death. And this liberation that Bhagavad Gita talks about is Jeevan Neva. Jeevan Mukti, that's the word used there. Jeevan Mukti. So if you think you are locked up or locked down in this body, if you think you are inside the body, that's a problem. Now you understand the body is in me, the world is in me, the consciousness. So you are locked up the body in you, not that you are locked up in the body. You are not locked down in the world is in you. See the shift in cognitive shift there. There's a shift of cognitive shift has happened. I'm not in the body is not in the world, that's our idea. The body is in the world and I am in the body, therefore I am locked up. Now there is a different understanding. The world is in me, the body is in that world. This shift is the true meaning of meditation. And when that shift happens, then life is an enjoyable experience. This is what Bhagavan teaching in the Bhagavad Gita, which I said, it is not Jnana Karma Samuchayam. It is Jnana Karma Sannyasa. What is sannyasa? We have already seen sannyasa is giving, not giving up. What are you giving? What are you sharing? Your natural happiness. And how do you share? While you are interacting with the world. And now you understand why Krishna doesn't want Arjuna to leave the battlefield. You have to be in the battle. You have to be with your mother-in-law. I'm sorry to say that. You have to be with your enemy. Because the enemy is an opportunity for you. You have to have physical problems. That's an opportunity for you. Isn't it? When Christ was on the cross, he was in ecstasy. When Bhishma was on the bed of arrows, he was in ecstasy. When Krishna was driving the chariot, he was in ecstasy. So, be active. Nahi kashishyanam abhijadu tishtatya. You cannot give up activity. You have to be fully engaged. Whether you are old or young or educated or uneducated, whether you are a Christian or a Muslim or Hindu, we have to be active. So what Bhagavad Gita promises is a liberation in the body, in the world. Embodied, enworlded liberation. And the word used is Jeevan Mukti. This will inspire the young people. Because if you tell the young people you will get liberation after death, nobody will be interested in that. Unfortunately, that was the kind of liberation we were offering to the world so far. But Bhagavad Gita gives a totally new message. So that is the message. Make your activity a meditation. Make your meditation a activity. Explore and express your inner potential as you're interacting with the world. And you have infinite resource. Your resources are not limited. Infinite resource. If you can get access to that resource through contemplation, meditation, then activity is an opportunity for you to pour out yourself in incredible ways, in your own ways, which become a meditative experience. So, this is a central message of Bhagavad Gita. When this was said, Arjuna is highly inspired now. This seems to be possible. But the problem is, though I am inspired, still there is something which pulls me down. I have no intellectual confusion now, I understand. But I have problem of habits. Intellectually I am understood, I am inspired, and I know this is the only way to be in the world. To enjoy your being. There is no other way. If I go to the mountain caves or the ashrams and all that, that is only limiting myself. I have to be in the world. I don't want to be a bonsai tree, confined and roots are cut and then, it looks beautiful. I want to be in the wild world. I want more challenges. The more the challenges, the better for me. So I am inspired by that. I know there is no other way of enjoying my being. I know it. It is not a post-mortem liberation I am aspiring. I want it to be right now, here. But the problem is something is holding me in really enjoying this. Something is. What is that something? Arjuna says, Adakena prayuktoyam papam charadi purusha. What is that which is holding me from enjoying my fullness of my being, enjoying the world around me, making everything as an opportunity? What is that? What is that little thing in me? What is the bottleneck? And the bottleneck, the word used by Arjuna is papam, evil. Different words are used by different people, different religious people. Avidya, Ajnanam, Kama, Krishna, or disobedience of God. See, God gave you a beautiful garden full of apples and oranges, but with the one condition: don't eat that particular apple from that particular tree. When God said that plenty of apple is there, most of the apple you are not even able to pluck all those apples. He only gave one condition: don't pluck that particular apple from that particular tree. And when this was said, this guy wanted to eat only that apple. Isn't it? This is your problem. I want that particular house. I want that particular girl. I want that particular job. I want that particular car. And then you are unhappy. Is it not? So he says, God said, don't eat that particular apple from that particular tree, and thereafter this man wants only that apple. And from there, your problem. This is disobedience of God. It's a metaphorical way of putting it. It's not exactly that was the truth. It's a way of putting or problematizing the situation, or diagnosing the situation metaphorically. So whether it is a disobedience of God, whether it is ignorance means you don't see the whole truth. Ignore your spiritual nature, and then you jump into the world. It is like jumping into water without a safety belt or without knowing swimming. If you don't know swimming, don't jump into the water. That's what we did. So whether it is ignorance, whether it is disobedience of God, whether it is desire, whether it is karma, whether it is attachment, what is the problem? What is that holds me back? What is that holds me back from enjoying the fullness of my being? I am convinced of what you are saying. I have got an intellectual understanding, cognitive shift, but still something is holding me back. And the Arjuna uses the word paba. Adakena prayuktoyam pabam charadi purusha. So that's what I am going to explore in the next session. And there is an interesting definition for paba in the Mahabharata. Parobhavaram punyaya pabaya paravirnam. Paba is, or sin, papa, sin or evil, is exploiting the other for your happiness. Exploiting the other, whether it is nature or the other human being or other animals. These are three exploitations. Souls exploit. You exploit another human being or animals or nature for your happiness. This is called papa. This is called sin. This is called evil. So some or other this virus has gotten into us. So how do I deal with that? My habitual errors, my habits which I have acquired. How do I deal with that? Which will be the theme of next talk. So till such time, best wishes for all of you. Reflect on this, and then we will meet you again next Saturday, 7 o'clock. Thank you very much. May God bless you.